Hello everyone, and this is my Elegoo Neptune 4 Plus printer, with which I have already printed a lot of the models so far. But there have been countless problems that I have had with it, as well as bugs and issues that occurred. Somewhere, for example, that it just went to that side, and for some reason it didn't want it to stop, even though it should have stopped it, for example, when I'm trying to calibrating it. Then it went away somehow. Then I had other problems, which, for example, with the Z offset, this is also very annoying. When I set it up, it just says that it wants to set it to complete different as if value, or I don't know what it is, but I just come back and then I need to redo it over again, despite it saying that the value is right. The one that I have selected, it feels like it isn't, since it is now touching more the plate or less. And lately, it has even corrupted the whole operating system after I have tried to just print one model, because of which I needed to reinstall the operating system with also buying an EMC reader. More about that later. After this, I have decided to look up on the internet the solutions and all of that, and I found one pretty interesting, maybe even solution to my also problem, something that theoretically may help me with my problems, at least, and solve a bunch of the bugs, as well as provide me with other new features, which is OpenNeptune, or OpenNept4une, however you want to call it. I don't know really how to pronounce it correctly. Essentially, this is what this video is going to be about. I am going to talk about what exactly OpenNeptune is in itself. I will also give you why you may even want to use the Elegoo Neptune version instead of the stock firmware. When might you want to do it, or when should you even do it, because in some places you actually need to use it. We will also dive into how to install it actually, and I will try to calibrate the printer then, and also to print something. And maybe try out a bunch of different macros or even plugins for the clipper, which should have a newer version, and so I will have more possibilities overall. Let's get into it. And before that, I wanted also to say that this video will be probably just not really as a tutorial. I will tell about everything I know so far, but because there is not a lot of information, I will probably just skip on some information and tell about everything that I know so far, and it will be more like a video just showcasing how it works, how do I set up it, and trying it out for the first time, since I have not been using it so far. So, what is actually OpenNeptune? Switch here, boom boom. I would have liked actually to say what OpenNeptune in itself is, but in reality there is almost no information about OpenNeptune, and if you go to the official GitHub website, you can find almost anything that will explain what it exactly is, why it even occurred, and all of the other stuff. And if you want to find videos, the only video I can find is installation of the OpenNeptune in French, not even in English, and this was the single video I can find. So it's a bit hard, but because of this, I am not sure what I'm talking is even right, but I hope it is. So take it with a grain of salt, and here I will tell you something that, as far as I know, or what I have understood. Well, OpenNeptune is essentially a firmware that they're trying to get rid of the manufacturer's software and firmware and replace all of the codes that were made with from the manufacturer or was proprietary, and reverted to the original, as they say, open source projects for enhanced performance, reliability, and features. And this is because the stock firmware of Elegoo is using very old Clipper version, or older just in general, as far as I understand. And there are a lot of features that aren't included there there are a lot of bugs that I have myself experienced, and while yes, you can actually try to solve them and all of that, but sometimes they occur and then just go away, and if it's inconsistent like it was in my case, it's very, very hard to understand what exactly is actually doing all of this. And basically what they're trying to achieve here is give you the possibility to have the newest Clipper version, just the general ARM Debian, the Linux Debian distribution, which you already will get actually with the stock firmware, but without all of the shenanigans and all of the applications that are proprietary or specific logged out system where you can't even update the firmware, and where there are a lot of bugs. Instead, with the firmware that ships by default from GitHub official repository, there is open source Clipper with the ability to update whenever you want and to have the all newest features, better calibration, and all of that is of course what you will get from that. And I can tell you, since I am actually recording this audio already through a couple of months later, and I would say that a lot of the steps for calibration are much easier to do, are much better and more consistent and stable overall. And this is, so far as I understand, exactly what this project is trying to achieve. And of course there are also a lot of the other very cool features that they add, and especially very good if you're trying to debug this, because let's face it, this 3D printer has a lot of problems, and as far as I know, many people had problems too, and this printer is very popular for being very manual in its way. It's where you need to configure almost everything, and very often if you will compare it to other printers. And so having all of these features is of course very cool, and this is what this project tries to achieve so far as I understand. Yeah. So let's go back to the video, I guess. And now let's get back to this printer, because now we want to install OpenNept4une. For this we will need to actually buy an eMMC reader. And this is the thing that I have bought already. It kind of looks like a flash drive, and I will now unpack it, and it should go into the mainboard. So because of which I will need to take this printer apart, and not really apart. With that I mean that to get into the mainboard you will need to take down the bottom panel, and so this is exactly what I will now do. So I'll need to disconnect the printer and place it somewhere so that I will be able to access the bottom plate, and unscrew it, and to be able to flash the software on it. So now we can see the back plate of it, and I will probably also need to change the focal, since it doesn't work for some reason. Okay, and now I will need to unscrew every single screw out of it. So we will need to take this all screws and all of these screws, not touching the fan. The fan has its own cable which will be by default connected, then you will need to unplug it, so this should be also done carefully. So here we have actually our eMMC reader, as far as I know, and we can take it out, at least we should do it, and then we can use our eMMC reader to flash the new firmware on it. So we will need to take screws, a screwdriver, and take it apart. So now I have this unplugged. I have set those screws to different locations since I don't want to misplace it. It's a plastic box that is translucent. And to be fair, I hate those things that require you to do forces and all of that. Apply forces. I will check video and try to get it out since I am afraid that I can break something. Yay, congratulations, I've got it. I've got it out, so I will need to focus on this. Yay, so you can see here. Interesting. And for this now, I will actually need to take my this eMMC reader that I have bought, and you may now say why, and or maybe not, but this is to flash our new firmware that we will need to install here. So let's open it up, I guess. So no interesting papers here. Okay, and here is it. Here it is. Oh yeah. Oh, here I have it. And I will try to zoom to. Yeah, here it is. I have the maker base version, and now I will need to plug this in. So I am plugging this in. And I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Now we will need to flash the firmware, and later on we will also need to actually get into the SD card. So now we are here, and so far this is OpenNept4, exactly what I'm talking. Yeah, on the official GitHub wiki page, and here we can see we need to acquire an eMMC to USB adapter, which I have shown you, which was this one, and back up your printer to CFG to a file of your printer first. But let's be clear, my printer is corrupted, it can't do anything, so cool. Then we will need to power off the printer, access the mainboard by removing all silver screws securing the underside access panel, remove the 2 screws securing the MMC module, and safely lift it free. This is exactly what we have done already. For N4 or N4 Pro users only, determine your stepper and PCB version. I have Plus version, so I don't need to worry about that. So yeah, if you do want to try it out or something like that, the best is always to follow the official wiki, since they may change certain steps, or just at least to verify that the video you're trying to watch is correct. But let's be honest, there isn't a lot of videos on the internet about this and how to do this, so yeah, it is harder than it should be. If your printer lacks an externally accessible micro SD located on the front I/O, the left of the USB-C port, which it lacks for me, follow these instructions. Hidden micro SD access. The micro SD is needed for updating the Clipper MCU software firmware. Now, the difference is here we will, as far as I know, here we will flash actually the Linux ISO with the operating system, whereas on the SD card we actually flashed the Clipper MCU firmware, and MCU is therefore the how it should actually interact with all of our sensors, as far as I understand it. And it's more of the operating with the sensors, with the main board and all of that, whereas the one that I have currently in my hand is more is about the operating system application services that we will run. So it's on the yeah, on software level more, or no. Yeah, so like that. I don't know. So first, we will need to flash OpenNept4une. I think I'll take then the SD card slot and find it after this. So let's first flash the image to the eMMC. Don't let the latest OpenNept4une image that matches your printer's model. Select the correct file based on your printer module. And I will need to choose the Neptune 4 Plus or Neptune 4 Max, which is here plus plus max. And I will need to go here, open link in new tab. What's new? Kernel changes real time, compile. Okay. Okay. So then, okay, this is the latest and safe version. This isn't pre-release. So I will then install my plus max version, since this is the version that is suitable for me. I have a plus version. So we are now installing it, and we will also need to have a Balena etcher, which I am not entirely sure I have. I have it. And we will flash, or with Raspberry Pi. I think they're flashing it with Raspberry Pi. I'm not that sure. macOS use Balena etcher, yeah. So we will need to use Balena etcher and flash it. But so far it's now installing, so I will wait a little bit. The download is finished. Flash the image to the eMMC, and macOS use Balena etcher. Okay, so I will use that. I will turn on the Balena etcher, flash from file. But for that, I will need to connect my eMMC drive. And also for that, I will need a dongle, since I don't have USB-A connection. Cool, 2 dongles. Let's hope that it will work. I'm not that sure if having 2 dongles is good or not. I have connected it, and hey, I can see the right color, the red color, and I can see, do you want to connect generic USB storage? I didn't thought that it is a generic USB storage. Can we go into Finder? Yep, boot directory, and I can see, oh, okay, this is the maker base here. I can see the BMP file, RMBN, that, okay, Linux. Okay, then flash from file. So this is just like a general USB flash one. Yeah. Now let's find it. Where it is. Where it is. Here. Neptune 4 Plus Max. Open. Select target. Generic storage device media. 8 gigabytes. You can also actually, as far as I know, buy with more gigabytes on it and flash on it. So we will start with this. Now flash, and we are flashing. So it's flashing, and it says that will take approximately something like 10 minutes. I'm not that sure. I will now reread if I have done everything right, and we will just wait. So yeah. Oh, and because it's flashing right now, it's still doing its job, and if you want to see, it's flashing now red. Not flashing, but just shows the color. I think this is the perfect time to clean this. And since there was one comment on previous of my videos that I should have included how I clean my computer, my server computer, my future one. No. Yeah. No. My school computer that later on got into to be gaming computer. I think this is the best time to do this too. And also a great opportunity to say sorry and do it. So let's take our not sponsored super power turbo fan mega flow. I don't know how do you want to call it? How more hyperbole do you want to use in one sentence? At least it works. So there's that. And now let's show it some respect. Yep. uh so there was not that much dust, so yeah. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Yeah, I have actually taken this and plugged it to another computer and flashed it there, since for some reason Balena Etcher doesn't work for me every single time. First time this laptop went to sleep and then it didn't want it to properly do anything. Second time at 100% it said that it quit unexpectedly. Probably it had worked, but I was not sure, so I have plugged it into computer that has Rufus, which means Windows, and now it says at least that it has installed it correctly, which hopefully it will be. So now, what the wiki says is that we now need to reinsert the eMMC into the mainboard, which we will do now, and also ensure that our printer now features an externally accessible micro SD slot, which I'll also do now. So first I want to get to place this to the side, since I want to first get to the micro SD slot. And this is the thing, that there are some printers, as I have read at least at this page, that have cut out for the SD slot, but the newer version don't. So this is something that you need to do. Then I will move then the laptop. I will need to remove actually 4 screws at that front, but that I will be able to do later. Now what I will need to do is to remove some screws that are only accessible once you put the printer like this. And in my case, because I have the 4 Plus version, those are this yellow standoffs, and there are near our board we have 2 screws. Sorry, can you see it like that? Yeah, you can see now which screws we're talking about. So this is what I will try now to get, and here are 2 screws. You can't see right now, but I will take them right now out. So those screws, I have, no, not I, but are removed now because I couldn't do it, so I got some help, yeah. And later on, I mean now, when I will assemble this one, the bottom place back, I will be able just to take those 4 screws out, and I will be able to get into the SD card slot, and I will be also able to print my front thingy for this printer. Print for this printer, the case using the printer. Why do I need this? And first, and this is, yeah, I need the SD card slot for the Clipper firmware in order to update it. Also later on, maybe I will do this, so I will also need to have it. So this is good to have, to be able to get into it easily. So now, reinsert the eMMC into the main board. For that, I will now take my eMMC back with Clipper. Here's even Elegoo Clipper. Yeah, if you can see it. And now I will need to put it back again here. I'll now place it back, and I didn't want to record this since I'm bad doing things like this in camera. So I have reinserted it, and I think this is it, if I'm not mistaken. No. Yeah, there were 2 screws that I also need to screw in. I have almost forgot about them, which is bad to forget such things. Yeah, so I will do that, and then I think this is it. I will just assemble the back, and yeah, it will be fast. So, bye for now. So, I have finally assembled everything. Finally, with assembled I mean screwed every single screw I needed in, besides the 2 that I don't need to, since I don't want. I want to be able to get the faceplate out of here. Great, it now stands. So now let's place it back on the table and let's connect it, since I think this is what tutorial says at least. So, and now according to the manual, at least to the wiki, we should be able to plug in the cable and everything should work. We will now be able to SSH into it and install what we need. Hopefully, at least. So I have plugged it in. Now we are turning it back on, and I can see Elegoo, this screen here. At least the wiki says that the touch screen will not work by default, which is okay. Oh my god. Okay. Now I want also to check whether the fan works. Yeah, it has turned on, but there is currently nothing happening interesting right now. It just doesn't know. Oh, it doesn't know anything what's happening. So yeah. Now let's get into SSH, and I will meet you on the other computer. So now let's run ghosttty, which is my terminal. You can choose whatever you want. And I've chosen this laptop just because I don't have anything right now to use other than this, and it has a great microphone also for using internal. Doesn't matter. Alright. So now it says, after you've done all of this, it's normal. Funny thing, touchscreen works. So that's great. Now we will need to SSH. Okay, 96. So for me it is 96. And I will need to 96. Oh wait, I have forgot. Like this. 192, 168, 178. 0.96, and I need also to write to which user do I want to log in. This is so to say to connect on the network, as if I have attached the monitor to it, just because it's Linux. But I hate that I have here another layout. Connect the printer via internet. Okay. Will it say me? Yeah. SSH MKS. Okay. Now, are you sure? Yes. Now the password, and the password of it is maker base. Okay. Maker base. Have I typed it correctly? I'm not sure. Yep, I have. Wow, this looks gorgeous. So here we have OpenNept4une version 2025.11 rolling for ZNPK1 running ARM because it runs ARM chip, 61612 Edge Rock chip, 64. Debian stable Truxy packages support DIY custom image. Cool. We have also IP connection and WAN. I don't know if I need to show this. I will probably blur this out with WAN, since I'm not sure if they plays role or not. I know only about LAN. So yeah. It shows also load on the CPU temperature, which is 45 degrees Celsius. Memory usage and usage of root, which is 63% of 7 gigabytes. Okay. Now we will need to do other things, which is serial, SSH, configure Wi-Fi. To configure Wi-Fi, I don't need to do this. Initial configurations and updates. Time zone configuration. So set the correct time zone through RMBM configuration. I will need to do this. I will just copy it and paste it. And now we will run maker base. Have I typed it correctly? Yeah, I do. And now it should do everything with config. Okay, I'm here, inside of here. Navigate to localization. Okay, you can change everything you want. Localization. Change global time zone. Okay. And choose your zone. Okay. Europe. Wow, this looks great, actually. I love a terminal user interface, to be honest. And now let's choose Berlin. You'll probably already know that. So, yeah. Now, I think that's it. Exit the menu, then reboot your printer. Okay, fine. Exit. Sudo reboot. Is it right? Yep, it is. And once it restarts, we should be able now to connect to it. Try to SSH into it. I hope it has restarted already. Update OpenNept4une installer printer CFG. Copy and paste the following command into the terminal. Ah, it's running shell script. Okay, maker base. Now you all know my password already. But you can change it, of course. We run this, so this is a script which is located in OpenNept4une folder, which is called OpenNept4une.shell, and .shell is just script for Linux. Let's just cat it out. Yep, and this is all the code that it has inside of it. Doesn't matter for us right now. I can't clear anything. Yeah. Open maker base. Password and password. OpenNept4une. I like those phones, really. Would you like to update? Yep, I do. Does it say here anything? Select option 1. Install update 1 OpenNept4une printer CFG. The first run will ask you to select a printer model. It then installs the relevant printer CFG. Oh, that's cool. Note for N4 and N4 Pro users only. Determine your stepper and PCB version. Yeah. Select option 2. Install update camp moonraker fluid UI const. Then select all. Oh, that's cool. It will pre-install everything I need. Would you like to update display connector? Yep, I surely do. I hope this is right. Yeah. And now we are here. We can now install update OpenNept4une printer CFG, which I think we will need now to do. Install update camp moonraker fluid UI const, which we will also install everything out of those 3 applications or services provides. Configure Wi-Fi, we have already done this. Update MCU in virtual MCU firmware. We probably will do this with the SD card. Install update touchscreen service beta, enable USB storage auto mount and all of that. So first we'll need to choose the option 1, number 1. Type 1. Model flag is empty. Running set model script. Please select your printer module. So for me it's Neptune 4 Plus. Yep, it is Plus. I have checked. I have already known this, but I just wanted to make sure. So now we are setting it to Neptune 4 Plus because I have this printer. Would you like to compare your current print CFG with the latest? Probably yes. They're not different, already up to date. Would like to continue with the update? Yep. I'm already up to date, but I will still do it. Restarting Clipper service. Okay. Now we have done this. Select option 2. Installed update camp. Fan works. This is amazing. Fan started just to work. Started to do stuff. So which means I have connected everything properly. Probably. Now let's go to the option 2. Install update. Yep. The latest configurations include updated settings and features for your printer. Recommended on fresh installs or when resetting to defaults. Installed, select option all. Yes, okay, I will set this to yes. And then
not only fluid web interface config, moonraker config, camp config. Camp is cool. It will make you able to have new features for auto bed leveling, mesh, and all of that. Mainsail web interface conf, Pico USB-C ADXL conf, and Clipper debug add-on. We will use all of them. All configurations are now installed because it's just CFG file, which is like a text file, something like this. Yep, okay, now we'll go further. Quit OpenNept4une and run sudo reboot. Okay, now I will say Q to quit, capital Q. Now it says goodbye, and now I will say sudo reboot. Yep. Broken pipes and disconnection. Hey, and funnily enough, if it now says me actually the temperatures for the extruder or the nozzle, and also for the bed, which seems that it now finally works, and it also says that I'm at the position of 0 and 0 and 0 of on both on X, Y, and Z axis, which is I think also right. So this is great. If not, we can also go to home. So yeah. Flashing updating Clipper MCUs. Now this is the part where I need actually an SD card. So let's now switch shortly to camera and try to get the front kind of plate away and install it, I guess, or update.
So, hello back here. We are now back from the laptop. We have done a lot of stuff. Now we need to reboot it since more than 20 seconds have already passed. I mean, it has passed like a minute or two. So we can turn it off, at least according to the manual. And we believe the manual because the manual is official one. Now, we need to insert the micro SD card. But there's one thing. Notice that we still have the front panel. And the micro SD card is not accessible. For this, we will need to take those 4 white screws you can see here too, and on that side too. And we should be able to access the front page. I mean, the front I/O. Hopefully, let's hope at least for that. And I need now to check which out of all of this will actually fit. Oh yeah, this fits perfectly. I thought actually I don't understand what I'm doing, but I actually feels like maybe I do. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get into here, and now, oh, that was a sound. So counterclockwise. Yeah. I forgot what means counterclockwise now. Barely for a couple of seconds. Yeah, we have first screw out of this, and now the second screw. Oh, I'm sorry. Dear printer. This is a day when you finally will get an update in some sort. Okay, I need to place those somewhere else. Yeah, I'll place them. And now we also need to do the same operation here. And the last screw. Yeah, and it feels like, yeah, it slides off. We now should be able to take this. Okay. We can do this, yep. Oh yeah, we can, oh, yeah, okay, that was much easier than I initially thought. Yeah, that's like an RG cable. So now we have this kind of interestingly looking thingy. I don't know how it's called anymore.
Front panel, yeah. And as you can see, now we can see the panel. And I have no space left, so I need to do something. About camera, I'm not sure. I will follow what it says, since it doesn't feel like I need to do it. Yeah, I will need to do it, but there are some things I need to do still here. So, right now, let's just connect back here. Maker base password, and yep, we are connected. And now let's just say we need to go back to OpenNeptune. OpenNeptune, yep, with tab, maker base. Now checking for updates. Now we'll say for update MCU and virtual MCU firmware. For. Do you want to update the MCUs? Select option all. So I will need to say yes. And I will need to say all. Whoa. And it's compiling. Huh. That's interesting. So now I have also compiled something on this printer. Feels wrong. We have now done it, and it should say then the STM32 main MCU firmware.bin files will be generated first. Visit HTTP your printer IP hashtag configure. Click the firmware folder in configuration files column left, right click and download this bin file and Elegoo K1 bin. Copy both files to a FAT32 formatted micro SD card. Safely eject your micro SD card, don't insert into the printer just yet. Continue with the script. Okay. Have you downloaded the bin files and are ready to continue? Not yet. That is exactly where we will need to step in. I will need to get some sort of the SD card. I have taken the SD card that is coming with the printer now. The one that I have taken was actually broken. So here we have nothing. Okay, just plain nothing. We will delete this. Now we have nothing on here. Yeah, capacity unavailable. Okay, there is nothing here, but it says still. Can I get view and everything, even show view option? I just want to make sure there is nothing in here. I don't know. We'll say there is nothing in here because it looks like so. So now it says that the STM32 main MCU firmware.bin files will be generated first. We will need to go to our printer IP, hashtag configure. So we will do that. We will go to 192, 168, 178, 93. It can differ for you, but at least for me it's like that. Configure. Now we're here. Oh yeah, it works. Open Neptune, you can see here. Now about here. Now it says click the firmware folder in the configuration files. Firmware folder in the configuration files here. We have also camp folder here, so a moon record conf and all of that, which is great. Now click the firmware folder. Yeah. Column left. Right click and download X4 bin and Elegoo K1 bin. X4 and Elegoo K1, which both weigh 39.6 kilobytes exactly. Okay, so I have 512 megabyte on this one SD card, which came with the printer, so this should work. Now let's install it. The question is how. How do you install it? Right click and download. Oh. Open file. I have config. Now we can delete this zip file. Yep. Let's go to config then. And we have all bunch of config files here in firmware, which feels right because we have seen that it did it in here. What does it say here? Copy both files to a FAT32 formatted micro SD card. Which one? Those one. Only Elegoo K1 bin, X4 bin, or all of them. Copy both files to a FAT32 formatted microSD card. So I assume only those files, since both means two, means at least for me. So hey. Yep, we have now copied it here. Both files to FAT32 format microSD card. Yep. Safely eject your microSD card. Don't insert into the printer just yet. Yep, we have now this. Safely eject. Don't insert into the printer just yet, and continue with the script. Okay. Yep. Proceeding with Pico-based USB accelerometer update. Okay. Please put your Pico in bootloader mode. Press any key to retry or S to skip. What does it say here? If you don't have a Pico Mellowfly USB accelerometer, enter S to skip when promoted, otherwise connect device in boot cell mode. What is this? What is this? Oh. So it's like a Raspberry Pi sort of, but it is for display, and you can download this thing, and then you will have like an external also display in order to do everything. And I think that's because the main screen may not work properly also, but also you can place it wherever you want, because it has internet connection with Wi-Fi connection, I mean. But I don't have it, so let's type S for skip. Okay, proceeding virtual MCU RPI update. Installing required packages. This may take a moment. Installing Python 3 NumPy, and I need to type in maker base, which is the password by default. Now it is installing the Python modules that it needs for the code in order to run certain codes. And yeah, leap open blast staff. New release of pip is available. Hey, of Python's pip. Package manager, not packager manager. What? Package manager. Yeah. Compiling again. Funny. Can we go into the home? There is nothing yet. Clippy not connected. Yeah. Clippy is not connected yet. That's why. But so far we have Moonrocker load. Oh, we do have those. Disk usage already 4.2 gigabytes used. So yeah. Okay, so let's go back here. We will see how it's compiled. Oh, yeah, it's restarting. So installing microcontroller code to user local bin, attempting to host MCU restart, virtual MCU update complete, rebooting in 20 seconds, MCU updater installer runs successfully. Now, what does it say now? The virtual MCU RPI firmware will now be generated and flashed automatically. Great. After the auto reboot completes, enter fluid, then shut down the host. Top right, ... or hamburger probably, host, and then shut down. Wait 20 approximately seconds. It is now safe to power off the printer at the power mains switch. Enter fluid, okay. And now it says that I need to go into enter fluid, 3 dots, host, and shut down. 3 dots, host, shut down. Yes. Because now it probably won't shut down itself and won't really work, and we need to make sure that nothing will corrupt, or yeah. So we wait for approximately 20 seconds now, and then we power off with main switch. Then we will disconnect any additional devices attached via front panel USB, for example webcam, coprint, ECM, KCM, chroma hat. I don't have any of that. Otherwise they may cause the firmware upgrade to fail while still renaming one of the bin files extensions to .car. Okay, so they might interfere with one another. Insert the microSD card once the printer is fully powered down. Note, microSD card's pins face upwards. Thanks. Power on the printer, then check the MCU version is included. You can now remove, and then will be renamed to that core of the update.
I have now. You can probably see some madness is happening here. Cruelty in the world, but we can also see actually here. I hope you can see this, but there is an SD card slot, and that is where we'll plug now our SD card slot. Well, the slot into slot. I mean with that SD card. It said that I need to do it with pins to the upside. So like this. And thanks for saying that actually. So it needs to face upwards and now. Huh? Is it connected or not? I am not sure. Yeah. So let's just place it pins upwards. Oh, I needed just to push it a little more. So, yeah. I don't know if you saw anything here. Yeah. Here we have it. And now, according to the manual, we need just to start the printer on. I think at least. Power on the printer. Now let's power it on. And let's see. Yeah, we just wait till it starts.
This is amazing. So we have done powering on the printer then, after all we have done so far with updating the MCU version and all that. Now we need to check the MCU version itself, if it has updated or not, in Fluid System tab. For example, version 0.13 point something else. In our case, we can already see that we can now see terminals, even for the CPU itself, which is really cool. I don't know why at the same time they didn't do this in the stock firmware of the Elegoo, but at the same time I also think, I probably know why, it's just less user-friendly if you do this, so it's understandable. Now we have here Fluid 2026, version 1.35.0.e and hashes or I don't know, something. Is this the thing that I should be watching for? I think yeah. In Systems tab. Systems tab? Do I do this right? System tab, okay. Network codename Trixie, yeah, because Debian. Oh, system memory load, Clipper load, Moonraker load, MCU load, MCU RPI load, frequency. Whew, this looks great so far. And how do I know? Updates are available. Okay, already updates are available. Check version and Fluids System tab. I mean, I'm not sure how to check that, but fine. You can now remove the microSD from the printer. Note, one of the bin files in the microSD will be renamed to car if the update was successful. So let's check for that. I will now take it out of the printer. So we have now connected it, and now we go to the no name, and we can see here, yep, Elegoo K1.core. I'm not that 100% sure if this one should have been also .cur. One of the bin files of the microSD will be renamed to .cur. Okay. That means that it's completely working, which is great. Updating third-party modules, enter Fluid Settings tab. The COG in the left toolbar. This is like rap some kind of word, I don't know. COG. The new band. Enter Fluid Settings tab. Okay, now let's go to the Settings tab, and it says that I need to COG in the left toolbar. Click the option Software Updates. Here, Software Updates. Hey, and we have certain things now that we can also update, and we can update all. Can we do this? Or check for all updates may take some time. Once checked, click update all. Note, Fluid may incorrectly report outstanding OS packages. Okay. And then we have some post-installation setup. We can now do update all. Before this, I think I should have tipped on check for updates first, but fine. It also says me what has changed so far. I don't know if there is a software updates thing in the Elegoo's one. I haven't seen, so I don't know. Let's go here. It says if you have a USB webcam connected out configured with the following. I had done this once on the previous one stock machine, but then I didn't really use it anymore since I use it now for something different. So we don't need to do it, but that's also cool. Resizing file system for 32 GB eMMC upgrade only. Okay, that will be cool, but I don't do it right now, so... Importing Orca Slicer profiles, don't install the latest official release Orca Slicer, configure a printer model in Orca Slicer, now they take following two filament profiles, check configure on the network engine install, download the latest Orca Slicer profiles. On the left, select the relevant, click the Wi-Fi symbol to the right of the printer, press the drop down and enter your printer's IP to enable network G-code upload immediately from Orca Slicer. Oh, that is cool. That's really cool. Print calibration and leveling. Wait, they do have all of the information here. Level tuning macros, PID tuning, first layer test, print flow rate adjustment. Wow, that is something. Open Neptune 3D, open Neptune 4. Okay, tuning macros. Bed levels, cruise tune, just bed leveling. Oh, so they explain too what. Oh, that is cool. I have seen one video on all of this, and I may pin it here. Also, very good one so far, I think. But this looks great. It's amazing that they explained here. Safely powering off your printer. Save any config changes within the fluid interface to avoid losing them. To safely power off your printer, either use touchscreen to shut down the host, or use the fluid interface, navigate to the right menu, select host and shut down. Wait until the green LED is visible and the printer turn off. When you can power off the machine at the mains power switch. This ensures the changes stored in RAM are correctly written to eMMC, preventing data loss. So you want me to say that I can't power off the printer differently? Okay. Fine. Probably this means that. Wait, I will need probably to dig into this. So, I don't know really, but it looks like, yep, you need to do this. So you need to safely power off your printer each time, so save any config changes within the fluid interface to avoid losing them if you modify it, and just safely power off your printer either with touchscreen to shut down the host, or use the fluid interface, which is the web interface, which is here. And you navigate to the top right menu, select host, and then shut down. This is probably because it does everything differently. So there is like an operating system where you can customize everything basically, whereas Elegoo doesn't do it. But I'm not that sure, so don't take it into account. You can do many things that you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise on the Elegoo stock firmware, which is cool. I have also checked for updates, and everything is up to date, so fine. That's cool also. And now I'm going to actually do calibration and all of that. So this is probably not something that I should now do video about, since first one, it can change. There is a lot of documentation about this, specifically on this printer calibration, and perhaps you have already know a lot of this, since many of these things are exactly as they have been, and I'm not that experienced to show it off yet. Now that's it for now. Probably I will now only place the plate back, the front plate of the printer, and share with you my experience after some time using this printer, since I will edit this video. Will take a while, and then after probably a month or so I will tell you my experience so far, how I have done everything, and if I liked it or not, and how many bugs have I had I change something, do something, or even if I do want to go back, or if I would say that it actually is amazing. We will see how it goes. So yeah, that's like that. It will take for you 1 second or less even. Just click one frame, and for me it will take a while. So yeah, to the future, so to say.
So, hello back. It has been a lot of months. I mean 2 months probably from when I started recording, or month and a half, I can't recall correctly. What I was doing now is that I had, for some reason, homing issue. And this was a thing that I had also before when I have had the first, the stock firmware of the Elegoo. And I didn't really know why, but I had also other issues, and sometimes it did home and sometimes it did not, where in this case, it just refused all the time. So I have watched this video, and by the way, this is really great video. You should watch the part 2. And I have also tried to read a little about TMC driver Clipper. Here, what it says here, and I have then tried to change the speed in the configuration. Let's go to printer.cfg, and if we go here, you will see that Sepper X, the homing speed was at 50. And now I have changed it to 40 since it slapped against the rack, and it just made this really loud noise, and it didn't want it to stop, which means that it could not read the voltage from the metal, and which means the sensitivity was too low, or the speed was too high, and it was jumping, so to say, and not so jumping as if further, and so it could not read the value that we needed to do. And right now everything seems to work fine, so now I will try to print something even more. For now I have all the tools for the other video, which you will see, and also some printed 3D parts already. And those have been the best 3D printed parts I have ever had, like literally. So I am very happy with the results of the OpenNept4une and of this 3D printer. It's really great when it works.